And we are back for another week of Wind Against Tide, and we have with us this week Dom Gillot. How's it feel, Adrian, to be outranked? You got a couple of coxswains here sitting across from you, commercial boat skippers, for those of you out there listening.
A bunch of cockos, basically.
And on the other side of the desk, we have what you'd call a pathetic recreational boat skipper in Adrian.
Hey, Dom. Oh, me. Yeah. Well, I enjoy not stressing about the water police and the fisheries maritime officers asking for my extra tickets and all the paperwork.
Well, that doesn't really happen, so.
But you get scared.
Wow. There's a lot of stuff you got to have in order, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess so. So we got Dom here.
What's the vibes?
Just recently told us that he's finished his coco.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the certificate. It should come through soon, so yeah, qualified.
So a little bit about Dom. Dom's a young up-and-coming local angler. Probably more than up-and-coming, actually. He's got some pretty impressive captures to his name thus far.
He does. Yeah. Do you want to mention what you caught before there, Dom?
Cheers, guys. I mean, I feel like it's just a start, but I've caught a few good Jews and been working hard on the snapper this season, but definitely Western Port, trying to get that down pat, do guides out there and just, establish myself as a good industry, person in the industry and, work on that.
Yeah. So the reason that you've got your Coxswain's commercial ticket is because you've put your boat into survey and you're going to run fishing charters and you're going to also get on other people's boats and teach them how to fish. So
exactly.
When's that? Has that kicked off yet, or when will that be starting?
So I'm going to launch charters next year, especially like coming into the new year. Gummy sharks, it's what I feel like I'm really good at. So I'll put those out there for January, February, March. But right now I've been doing a heap of guides, just rolling through those and making sure I build a steady base and go from there.
Yeah, nice.
So you've got into doing guides and charters and stuff. So what's actually pushed you to do that? What actually got you into the fishing?
Well, I've been fishing like my whole life pretty much, but it's just like you catch the bug, you get a good fish or a few good fish and you love it. From a kid, you pick up a rod and a reel and you go from there. And then I guess you just work on it and you discipline yourself to try and catch good fish consistently. And then you can try to turn it into something as you grow. And you meet good people along the way. Like meeting Brendan was insane. And, he's done so much for me. He's such a good person. I can't say enough, about him, what he's done for me. So, and then you try to grow from there and make something for yourself.
Yeah, he's adequate. So was it your dad that first took you fishing, or is your dad as into fishing as you are?
Yeah, so my old man, he definitely had a big influence on my fishing. We first started buying a little boat. My uncle actually took me out fishing when I was about 5 years old on his boat, which is now the boat I run around in, the Outsider.
Oh, wow. So the boat that you've got in survey now was the very first boat that you fished in?
Yeah, it was probably like 16 years ago now. And
was it in Western Port or Port Phillip? Or?
Port Phillip Bay, yeah. We just went out. I think we caught a few snapper and some gars and I hardly remember it now. I was like 4 years old, but yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, awesome.
So did that boat start its life as a netting boat at Port Albert, didn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, it did. It was a netting boat. I'm pretty sure they did some abs out of it too, up the coast somewhere there for a few years before he bought it. But yeah, she's pretty well built. I think she's 93, so the hull's fairly old, but yeah, tough snails.
Oh, well, that is getting on. But yeah, commercial boats are normally, as you say, tough as nails, built to withstand. Actually, it's funny when you see all the ones when you go down a corner inlet and Port Albert, how flogged they are.
Yeah.
Because they run around in the shallows and they'll have like no skeg left on their motor and they just get absolutely trashed.
A lot of them, you randomly see the cages over the props because they run so close to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a quality built boat though, like 7 mil plate on the bottom and 6 on the side, so it's pretty rigid.
Oh, so she's pretty heavy then, 7 mil on the bottom.
Oh, what's your one, Adrian?
I think 3 or 4.
1.5?
No, 4 and 3 on the sides.
That's pretty solid. I mean, some of the boat manufacturing's come a long way recently. I noticed that they used to use pretty thin alloy and clinker hulls and stuff, try and strengthen it. But yeah, it's come a long way.
Oh, you got some boat knowledge.
Yeah, he does. So your boat's in survey. It was always in survey, but did you recently have to put it back in survey?
Yeah, it was a lot of legwork. I had to get a new fuel tank, all sorts of stuff. We had to like remodify quite a few things, and like those survey blokes that come out, the AMSA guys, they're really strict, so they want it all done properly. And
Yep.
yeah, it was definitely like a lot of money, a lot of legwork, but we got there. It took a good 12 months to get it up to scratch, but yeah.
So is it just for the ports and bays, or?
Yeah, it is, and I can operate like just out of the sheltered waters, a couple of nautical miles, but nothing special. So just focus on getting a good base in there, and then if like I kick off solid like I want to, I can grow and get a different boat and get it in 2C and go from there.
Oh wow, yep,
that's good. That's awesome. All right, well, we'll throw a few questions at you while we're sort of on the subject.
For sure.
So, what would you say your favourite all-time form of fishing is?
I love Mulloway fishing, as frustrating as it gets. I mean, like you go up there sometimes, days and weeks after week, and you just strive to try and get those fish. And when you do finally get one, it's so worth it. But it's very enjoyable. But I find like every season rolls around, and coming into August, September, you get really keen to go get a few snapper, and you get the bug for snapper. And then when you've caught 20 or 30 fish, you start to get your mates on them, and then you sort of go, all right, what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I love dewy fishing. That's probably where my heart's at. But yeah, definitely like love everything.
Yeah,
Definitely want to get some more game fishing and like get into that. So that's next, yeah.
So you basically you love your Mulloway fishing, and it, as you're just explaining, then like it's hard work. It's not for everyone. Long nights, and you get tired, and you keep going back every single day to try and get one. What keeps pushing you to keep going to actually land one?
Well, I suppose just because of how hard they are to get, like it's so special when you do nail it. I mean, like snapper are great, but you get a different respect when you see, some of those massive Mulloway we get, like 100-pound fish.
Yep.
It's something that like not many places in the world would see fish like that, and they take a lot of dedication. And even here, the people that know like what they're doing, we still got to put in 20 trips a year to get the job done. So.
And the rest.
Yeah. Plus that sometimes. Like some seasons are tougher than others.
Yeah. Well, like Brendan, like we've been saying, he's been going hard as. Yeah. And he hasn't been able to put one in the boat this year, which,
I think that boat's cursed, but yeah.
we actually say the same thing. We blamed it on the stinky bait that he leaves on the bottom of the boat, and it never gets cleaned up.
He's going to start believing it soon, I reckon.
Yeah. I remember when he first got that boat, and we used to run out there like every day, and like I was like, all right, yeah, we'll use your boat. It's great, give it a run, get it on film and whatnot. And then the one night we go use my boat, bang, it happens. It's like one of those things.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject of Mulloway, we've heard enough about Adrian's big one we got a few years ago. But I know you got one that was awfully close to the size of that one. Literally probably the second biggest one I've heard of, and happened to be in a very, very similar area.
Look, it's not that great of a fish, let's be honest.
Oh.
It was a bloody good fish. I was actually there when he came into the ramp.
Well, we were out fishing that night.
We did.
We got a school shark and
we'll
a nice big snapper, and we were real happy with our efforts.
Yeah.
And well, we were on a charter actually, so and then we were pretty pleased with our efforts. And then it's like, oh, Dom's caught a mega Jew.
Yeah, he did. I've actually got footage of it here if you want to look back at it here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now this thing is giant. It's touching the ground, and it's up to his head here. And it's basically almost the same height as you, mate. Yeah, well, you can lift it up a little bit more, and it'll be.
So what was the length on that one, Doc?
1.69 m.
Oh wow!
Literally a centimetre shorter than Adrian's.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah, pretty awesome fish. I mean, that season in particular, if I run it back, it was only a few years ago. I finished school, so I had the schoolies break, and I didn't do that because like didn't really interest me at the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna go Jew fishing every night. And then coming around to it, I went out with a few mates and did an all-nighter with them, and we were snapper fishing, and we nailed a school shark actually.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, the weather's perfect. I've done 16 trips this season. Let's just do the last trip and see if we can nail it. It was a bit late for a particular time that I thought it had happened, but it just glassed off. And the bait it took was mangled, and just one of those.
That's the secret.
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
You got to actually get a squid head and mash it up, and then chuck it back out. So it's banjo munched.
Sometimes when I'm snapper fishing and Brendan's mulloway fishing, I'll and I've got a good run of banjos going, and I've got some half-chewed squid heads come up. I offer to take them round and deliver them to him, just so he's got the that little 1%er.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, like sometimes when we actually put them out and get banjos, you don't even get angry. You're just like, oh, this is good.
Oh yeah,
This is all part of the plan.
He's crushed some scent out of it.
So, Dom, when we actually came to the ramp and saw your fish, we cut it open, and to our surprise, it was full of, something really disgusting.
Yeah, it had a lot of worms in it.
Yeah, I'm going to play a clip here, see if you remember this.
Viewer discretion here.
Right.
Viewer warning.
Look how much roe there is. Yeah. That is heaps of roe. Nothing really in there.
No, this is the stomach.
Yeah.
Split this open to the stomach in there.
This just ain't nothing.
Yeah, this is...
What is that though? Let's find out.
that is absolutely
bit
disgusting.
of worms.
Oh, it's full of worms.
Oh. Apparently that's common in Mulloway.
Well, at the time, I was pretty put off eating it, but afterwards, yeah, sort of, I felt bad enough keeping that fish as it was, so I'm like, I'm going to eat it regardless, and just, it was delicious and no problem, so.
Yeah. No, well, someone actually said when we caught our one, it'll just be full of worms or whatever, and I was like, I've never even seen one with worms in it.
Exactly.
But apparently it's really common.
So when we cut open Dom's one, I was really shocked when we saw those worms, like, oh, shit, you guys going to actually eat that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But it was only in the stomach. It wasn't in the flesh, was it?
No, there was nothing in the flesh. It was really clean, like nice white flesh, actually. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. I don't think, and to this day, it hasn't done anything. So.
And that's why you're so skinny, because those worms are keeping the weight off you.
No matter how much macas I eat, can't put a kilo on.
You have a crazy diet when you go fishing. Brendan's told us all about it because you obviously fish with Brendan quite a bit, and he goes, all he eats is nuggets and tomato sauce. And that there is a very unusual, combination.
Well, I suppose Brendan's a little bit hypocritical. I mean,
here we go.
I mean, sometimes he'll put it all on you, and then he'll pull out a family box of macas. It's like, okay,
family box. Oh shit.
Well, actually, just going back a little bit, your what we were discussing before, your dad is like one of the most supportive fishing parents I've ever seen. The amount of times I've seen him at the ramp at like 3 a.m. and he hasn't been fishing with you, and he's driven down to pick you up. I mean, that's got to be commended, I reckon. Yeah,
the dedication, it goes, I can't say enough for what my old man's done for me. I mean, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. I'm very grateful for a lot of help that a lot of people have given me, but my old man's been like a big staple in my life, and he's helped me get to where I am. But that stuff, like, you don't even hear, mates don't do that for mates even. It's just, unforeseen, really. Yeah, awesome stuff.
I'd do it for Adrian.
Speaking of your old man, I actually remember a couple of years ago you pushed him so hard to drive you to JB, and apparently the car broke down on the way there, and you still pushed him to get you up there.
Well, we actually left too late because we had to work hard on the boat that day to get, like, the day before we rolled up.
Yeah.
And we knew we were going to do a through the night style roll straight to the ramp. Out we go. If we could get a few hours at the ramp, that'd be great. But yeah, we left a bit late. I think we left at about 8:30. So we're pushing on the freeway, trying to get, a bit more pace.
So that's a 10-hour drive, and you left at 8:30. So you're looking at getting there at like 8 in the morning, basically, after you fill up and...
Yeah, all that stuff, exactly. When we left, it was pretty late, and we were trying to push it hard to get there for sunrise. And we were rolling along the Hume past Aubrey, and a tyre exploded, and the whole car started skidding, and we had to pull over, and yeah, it was pretty hectic. But we managed to, the old man managed to jack it up and get the wheel off and put the spare on, and we were lucky we could get there.
Wow! So you kept pushing him on.
Yeah,
he didn't once say, "Oh, no, that's it, Dom. I've had enough. I'm turning around."
I think
too many things go wrong.
I think it inspired us more to keep pushing, really. I think we were like, nah, nothing's stopping us from getting out there. And it was actually a pretty cool trip, that one. It was one of those ones you remember in a way. And we didn't get it done. You guys did. Credit to you. You stayed out and finished it off. But we lost 3. It was really disappointing. A boat in front of us landed 2. So it was one of those days.
Hey, don't worry about it. The amount of trips we did before, myself and Brendan, before we got to Marlin, we were going away every weekend, and we were absolute spastics. We weren't going to the right areas where the bite was. We were stubborn trying to catch them in Victoria and like as far north as we'd go was Eden, and like towing lures, and we'd get like one bite a trip and miss it, and then it took us probably a good 15 trips before we actually got one, and then we actually started learning how to follow the bite and putting ourselves in the right position. So yeah, I don't know how many trips you've done for them, but to hook up 3 on one of your first attempts, it's not bad at all.
Well, my very first Marlin trip, I went with a couple of high school mates and stuff, and we got 2 and in by lunch with 2 of them dead on the deck.
It happens that way sometimes. I mean,
on lures too.
Yeah, you're a tin ass.
Yeah.
And didn't you smash your car on the way up or something?
I did. So I actually I fished Welsh Pool the day before, trying for a late red. I think it was like January 1st or something. I went up there and just tried for a late red, no good. And then the next morning, coming through sea spray about 4 a.m. and a giant 6-foot kangaroo jumped in front of the car out of nowhere and just crushed in my bonnet, and I just crawled all the way to the servo. And it was overheating.
Didn't you go to like Super Cheap or something and you got a new radiator?
Yeah. So I got to the servo and everything was overheating. There was coolant everywhere and everything was just crushed. And I think I walked about 1 kilometre to Repco, called him on the phone before. I'm like, oh, do you have this radiator? And changed it on the side of the road and kept going.
That's a good effort.
Yeah, I thought it was.
On that trip to JB, we didn't really tell anyone because I suppose we were just so keen to fish. But after the tyre blew up and we fixed that, when we were rolling through the back of the mountains, the back of Canberra there to get to JB, we actually hit a wallaby, and it was a massive wallaby. And same sort of thing. Our radiator had problems and it was leaking, and we had to top up the water. Oh, it was crazy. It was just one of those trips that didn't want to happen, but we made it happen. And we had to go get a new radiator the next day.
I just feel sorry for your dad. I had to fix his car and push his son all the way up, halfway up the country.
Oh, yeah. It was a tough trip. I mean, especially when you got a Land Cruiser, they take juice as well. So it's not cheap to do it.
No.
Like when you're halfway there, you've already filled the car up twice and it's like $300 fill. So you're like, we're going to keep going.
Is that a V8 Land Cruiser as well?
V6 4.2 litre.
Oh, the old 4.2 ones. Yeah.
Lucky you know a mechanic to fix it up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. All right. Well, jumping around a little bit here, but back on the Mulloway thing, I just think given that we did keep these big Mulloway, we could probably discuss a little bit about the ethics of keeping Mulloway and whether because we did cop a few comments about keeping big breeders or whatever.
We did.
And I know with our one, we don't regret keeping it because it's literally like one of about 3 we've kept in the last 5 years.
Yep.
And it wasn't kept for a trophy or anything like that. We ate it, and we donated the otoliths and I think the frame to science.
I think, yeah.
So
that sounds right.
We did have a question. Someone had been looking at the photo sitting behind Adrian there and wanted to know some of the details of it.
I don't think I got that photo ready, by the way.
It's all right. I've got super eyes.
Yep.
So I'll just explain a little bit. So some of the comments on our YouTube channel were suggesting it was like some granddaddy ridiculously old fish, but actually it was a very fast growing fish, and it was 22 years old as aged by the ear bones. So what they do is they count the growth rings on the otoliths or ear bones, and each growth ring is a year in age. So that fish was 22 years old at the point of capture.
Oh, there it is, guys. I scrolled through my emails and...
Oh, nicely done. So, yeah, you can see there donor name Adrian Ludier, who wound my fish in for me.
And it says Western Port Bay. That doesn't exist.
Western Port. Sex, yes, please.
Well, it was
unknown.
Well, it should have been female because it was full of roe. So
yeah. So, yeah, you can see our one is circled. If you go back to that one, Adrian. Our one is circled on the top there. It's a bit of an outlier. At 170 centimetres, and you can see the oldest fish there is about 26 years old.
No, about 33.
Oh, yeah, there's one way out there. So a real old
34
one.
maybe.
So what I was going to touch on while you're on that, my 33 kilo that I caught about 5 years ago now, the first big one I ever got, I got that aged and it was 27 years old.
Wow, that is old. That's older than you, Dom.
Yeah, so that fish, Lauren aged it. She said in Victoria, that's the oldest ever recorded. So
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So they're pretty. I mean, look, it's not young, but they are quite fast growing, and
22 years old to get 100 pound. That's a quick growing one, I reckon.
so yeah, I guess they're just like humans, and they grow at different rates. And we had a fastie, and so your real big one, Dom. Did you get that one aged as well?
So I'm actually waiting on the frame still. The taxidermist that I've got to do the first half of the fish that we didn't eat, that we sent to get, done up. He hasn't finished it yet because of COVID. He couldn't get any of the resin and all that, so we're still waiting. But when I get the jewels back, I will get one done for
Yeah,
sure.
right. He's been keeping it at his house, showing all his mates his
He
Mulloway
has.
caught. Oh, I can't get the resin, guys. He's parading it around the
I
neighbourhood.
mean, resin's not that hard to get, but yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
it must be some special kind of resin.
That was his reasoning anyway.
So you're doing like a 5-glass resin mold, not a skin mold.
No, it's not a skin. So my 33 is a skin, and it's half decent. I mean, the bloke that did it, he was a retiree. He just did it for the story, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I like the way it come out. The real teeth are awesome. You get to look at it again, and brings back the memory for sure.
You should get him to stretch it out a centimetre, Adrian, and get one for yourself.
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I?
Well, may as well. He's making one, he can make two.
Yeah,
Alrighty. Yeah?
I'd love to, but I reckon this picture behind me, is good enough.
Nah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a shame. So it's like 150 centimetres, that canvas, isn't it?
Yeah, so it wasn't quite long enough.
It's not quite to scale, but, it's not too bad. Came out all right. So, so moving on a little bit here. Dom, we wanted to discuss a little bit about you're not like most fishermen.
He's basically created some kind of character persona, like some kind of gangster persona, I guess.
We enjoy your rap videos. I guess, I don't know, we just wanted to discuss it. Oof.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Adrian's going to throw up one of them, I think. Are you, Adrian?
I'm going to try find one of his latest gangster rap ones.
No, I think what the question is, what's inspired you from that genre or that I guess that scene or vibe, and how's that translating into your life and your fishing scene?
Yeah, so I understand, like, a lot of people say a lot of things about what I do, and, like, not everyone's going to agree, and I get that. Like, not everyone's going to like what I do, and I'm cool with that. But the point is, I'm big on having fun, and, like, I think a lot of people forget that when I go out with my mates, like, people can take it as serious as they want, but at the end of the day, we're just kids having fun.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
That's all it's about. So, like, people want to get on there and send me all sorts of threats and say all sorts of stuff to me. I mean...
Oh, wow. So you get threats online about the videos and the gold chain posts and all that stuff?
I've had people go as far as, like, death threats and all this and that. And, like, at the end of the day, like, it's the internet. They're hiding behind fake profiles too. So, like, it doesn't get to me. But, like, don't you have anything better to do in your day? Like, me and my mates are just having fun. We're catching good fish. I'm here to have a good time. We only get one crack at this. So let's, enjoy it.
So,
Fair call.
So Brendan actually is the one that showed us this video. He goes, "Oh, check out Dom." So we've got the video up here.
It's his pump up.
So he's got a new slogan, I guess, called "No Muck." He's got his mates with mullets and
the no look cast.
he's got the gangster rap music playing. And the gold chains.
Bit of Reedy's rigs.
Good cast, Dom. Looks like a good fish, actually.
No, but anyway, I just think it's important to discuss that because it's Oh, sorry, Adrian.
No, you're
I
right.
didn't realise that you were having a bit of a rap battle over there.
Yeah,
I
so-
just think it's important. It's important to discuss that, and just it's obviously clearly a big part of what you guys are doing, and there's been some definite mixed reactions, and I think it was just good to get your side of things, and we know what you're like, having talked to you and met you and fished with you and everything like that. But I just think if you're able to, for those people that maybe do watch it and take it a bit seriously, it's good to discuss.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of people judge someone when they've never even met them before. And, like, I've had a lot of that. And it's like, you don't know what I'm like. You know, you can believe whatever you want to believe on a TV screen. It's just like anyone in the world. Like, we're all human. And, like, I'm just here to have a good time with my friends. And if I post it, you know, everyone doesn't have to get in a tither about it. I'm just here to enjoy it. And I know a lot of people don't like what I do or don't like me. But at the end of the day, like, focus on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to pick fights. I'm just here to enjoy it.
Or we'll pop a cap in your ass.
No, but cool. You're dead right. But I find the older you get, the wiser you get, and you tend to, I guess, ignore what's going around because, people's opinions mean nothing. The older you get, I guess. So.
Well, I suppose partly you put it out there and you expect that reaction. So,
but that is a character, I guess, you've kind of created, isn't it? So the gangster rap with the gold chains and.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just like, we're just chilling. I mean, we're just, have fun.
It's actually an amazingly individual fishing persona.
It is.
You think of any other fishing rapper?
No. I guess there's a famous character in Australia, the fish, the power fish. He's created his own kind of persona and stuff, and he's created a few characters now. So I guess, Dom, what's your next character or persona that you're going to create?
Well, I mean, like, some people call me polarizing. I mean, people use all sorts of words to describe it. I guess, I'm just trying to make something for myself in this industry. And, like, I get it. Like, some of the older generation, you've never seen it before. So, like, when you've never seen something before, it's not going to, like, you're not going to grasp it straight away. It's going to take a minute to, like, understand where I'm coming from, you know what I mean? And I don't expect people to, like, get on with it, but, like, just to understand that, like, I'm not a bad person is, like, something I'd like people to know,
Yeah, so...
good one.
Yeah, that's a good response, and I guess. But I just want to know, what's the go behind your branding there, No Muck? Where did that come from, and how did you come up with it?
So one night, me and my mate with the mullet, Kane, we were out fishing for gummy sharks.
So the one with the mullet is named Kane?
Yeah, that's his name, Kane, yeah. He's a good kid. He's a few years younger than me, but, like, way beyond his years. He's a funny kid. Nice guy. But we were out gummy fishing and we caught, I think it was 5 gummies up to 20 kilos. And he was on and I think I was filming him pulling in a 15 kilo one. And it was like a really good fish. And he's got up beside the boat. I'm like, I'll get the net, mate. I'll just pack this up. I turned around. He just yanked it in over the side, just pulled the leader up and just yanked the fish in and grabbed it with one hand. And he goes, No Muck. And I'm like, that's sticking. We're taking that with us. Like, that's coming. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a Tekashi 6ix9ine thing.
Nah.
I think Dom made that up.
Kano invented it.
You remember when I came up with my own slogan, but it didn't really take off? It was Pepper. and I guess the reason behind that was it was a prequel to, like a lot of people say mint. And I go like that. Mine was a prequel to it, so Pepper.
I thought you would have gone a different condiment. Oregano.
It's oregano, Dave.
That's oregano, guys. No, that's cool. No, it's bloody good to get to know a little bit more about you, Dom, and understand that side of you a little bit more. So that's good.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. I like when people can hear my side because, like, everyone makes up their own assumption and their own thing. Like, I've had a few things going in the industry with other people and other names, and I suppose, like, people can pick their side in a way, and it's like you haven't heard what I've got to say, so it is good to get heard. You know what I mean?
I guess that's the great thing about fishing. All walks of life come together when you catch fish and share journeys and adventures with each other. And it doesn't matter what race or culture or whatever you're from. It just, I guess, glues people together.
I was actually thinking that today. Fishing is like the great equalizer.
It is.
And because I was thinking about how there's a lot of sports stars and stuff that are into fishing. And it's funny that they probably, to some extent, look up to us who spend a lot of time fishing and maybe every now and then catch a dream fish. And it's like, to us, they're like these sports gods.
Yeah.
And they're like way better than we are. What is that?
I don't know. There's something playing in the background. I was still on Dom's Instagram. I forgot to turn it off.
But yeah, I think like to some extent, some of these guys that are like world famous are probably looking at what we're doing and with a little bit of envy. So it's funny how it works like that.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do now that we've got to know Dom a little bit more is move on with a couple of our more regular segments. But first what I wanted to put out there, Adrian, was that we have behind me our little prize pack.
Yeah, what do you got there?
Hang on, I'm just going to leave the mic for 1 second.
No, that's all right. So we did have a winner last week who submitted a brilliant question, and he won the the best question of the night.
Yeah, so Josh Herschel. So sorry we haven't sent it out yet, Josh. We, very busy, but we'll be doing it. We'll send it out. It's all packaged up, ready to go. And what we've come up with is a cap. How do I do that? Yep.
Yeah, no, we can say that. That looks good.
One of them.
What is it, Dave? What is that? Immersion tuna tail.
Upside down shirt.
Yep, it's still upside down. You're doing well there.
That's the back.
Yeah.
Where's the top? There we go.
Yeah.
The Origi-Dig Immersion Apparel Design shirt. And another one of them in black.
Yep.
So like I've already said, it's just what stock. Where is this camera? That's just what stock we have.
Yeah.
What we've got left. So we'll pick something out every week according to the size that people send through to us. But there you go, Josh. I've got that ready to send out to you. So with Australia Post Office at the moment, you'll get that next year sometime, I'm tipping. But we'll do a few more questions tonight. And once again, we will pick a winner and come up with another little prize pack.
Yeah.
That sound good?
No, that sounds awesome, Dave. So, yeah.
All right. Well, moving on a little bit. Well, we normally each week we like to wrap up our fishing.
Our fishing week, yeah. So
did you actually fish this week?
No, I didn't. I've been so bloody busy with work and stuff. And I had a Christmas party on the weekend, which took up a lot of my time. And
oh, yeah, I remember not getting invited. That was good.
I only invited friends. You're not really a friend.
I know, yeah. No, I'm only a friend. I'm only a friend when you need me to take you out and put you on the giant mulloway, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So, all right. Well, lucky we've got Dom in then because he's been fishing. But I'll start off with myself.
Yeah, what did you get?
So we had a charter last Thursday on the snapper. And
did? I think I found a photo there. You filled up a bin there.
So I was literally, I think I sent you a little video too, Adrian. I was literally the only trailer in the car park because it was like blowing about 25 knots, wind against tide.
Yeah. So there's your video there. And it looks pretty calm out there, to be honest.
Videos lie, mate. It would not even be an issue, but the fact that it happened to be an ebb run out tide and the wind slamming up that north arm there onto the transom of the boat, but. Anyway, luckily she's a very seaworthy vessel, the old Eden Craft, and the fish finally up in our favourite little snapper area off Lysarts have started to come in thick and fast. It's taken a little bit longer than normal, but yeah, throughout that tide, I think we ended up with about 12, and then I had to come in because the tide was such a massive low tide. I was concerned I wouldn't get the boat on the trailer.
Oh, did you launch at Hastings, did you?
No, Stony.
Oh, Stony, and you worried about the...
Well, as it was, I had to put the trailer tyres over the edge of the ramp.
Oh, I love that. Good ramp tyre.
Yeah, lucky the old the nav dog 4 low just yanks her out of there again. So
yeah.
So, yeah, it was great to finally have a good run on them. And then on Sunday, myself, Brendan and Joey went out off Mornington to have a little bit of a squid off.
Yep.
Which was pretty entertaining. So, and Finn was there, by the way. Yep.
Yeah, but he doesn't fish, does he? He just sits there and complains.
He eventually got his 10 after everyone else had caught their allotment an hour earlier.
Yeah.
But, so we end up with 40 squid between us.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Launching at Mornington. What's the other ramp?
Oh, the one that's just past it.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
It's a delicious little launching beach.
I used to go there a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Catch squid and salmon.
I can't believe I forgot what it's called. Anyway, we launched there and duck around the corner from there. And actually, you know how most of the squid are normally small around that area. So you need to catch a full bag to get enough baits. But Brendan actually managed to lose one that was a good, probably 35 centimetre water.
Wow. So like a Stony Point one.
And Joe got a big one. So there was some bigger ones mixed in. And I got severely sunburnt and everyone had a good time. So the squid fishing was good.
Oh, that's awesome. So is that all the fishing that you've done this week?
Yeah, that's all I've done. Been working and whatnot.
Oh, as you do. So what have you been out fishing this week, Dom?
Yeah, I've been on guide a few times. I've got a few gummies, a couple of snapper, and bagged out on whiting a few times as well. Squid are always in the mix in Western Port, so whenever I get the chance on a tide change, I'll smash a few of those out and got bait sorted. There's actually been a lot of salmon kicking around too, which is great on guide because people love catching a good fighting fish.
This is one on you on guide there with a lovely young Sheila there, catching a mulloway.
So this is the only mulloway out of anyone that we know for the season. So I think you caught that in November.
Yeah, it was a while ago now. I can't remember exactly the date off the top of my head, which is a bit unusual. But yeah.
Who was this girl? Did she just invite you on a boat to catch a fish? Basically?
So it was actually her boyfriend called me and wanted a guide and whatnot, and we went from there. And yeah, she was on board. That's
Did she wind that in?
She was the angler. Yeah, she
did
really good actually. It went up near the anchor rope, and she did really well steering it back around from under the motor, and we didn't have to get the anchor up, so it was good.
Were you mulloway fishing?
Well, we were exploring new areas. I wouldn't exactly say 100% focused in on targeting, but we definitely were trying out new spots. And I've been this season trying out a lot of new areas because we know what it's like where we go. It gets pretty hammered every year.
Yeah. So at what point did you think, oh, this might be a mulloway when it started going up around the anchor rope?
Pretty much, I'd say.
Do you want a beer, Dom?
I'm right, thanks, mate. I'm on the P's.
I think he's a P player, so...
Yeah, I just thought I'd test him.
You should test him.
Yeah, Great Northern's good. But no, when it took off in the holder, I thought, this isn't a snapper, but it's not an eagle ray either. And as soon as it went up near the anchor rope, I had my ideas. I'm like, I think it's...
You can kind of tell whether it's a fish or a ray.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Just get those, especially mulloway, because they have those rapid, like real heavy, thick head shakes.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it wasn't a snapper, and I'm like, it's fighting like a snapper. There's only one other thing this could be, and I don't think it's one of those, 2 kilo eagle rays. So.
Oh yeah, they'll trick you.
Yeah,
those little rat eagle rays.
Yeah,
they're not that heavy, and they just bounce around everywhere.
We often have discussions of the best way of fighting these. So Dave's one was let it go loose and let it come to the boat, and then quickly wind it so it's basically at the boat, and there's the swivels wound to the tip. Brendan's is sit back. When it's hooked up in the holder, get the scissors out and cut. So he loses braid and leader and whatever. What's your way of handling these fish?
Well, after I realised it's an eagle ray, about 30 seconds in, because it's just thrashing line, I do like to lock up and get them dispatched quickly, because if they get around the other lines, it becomes a nightmare. And you guys know what a big tangle's like. And yeah, so I try to dispatch them quickly. So yeah, if I've got to tighten up, I will.
No, you have to learn the walk the dog technique.
I think sometimes it's a bit hard to go hard on them when you wind against tide, because your boat's facing on a weird angle and you got rods, kind of gnawing over, and I guess
definitely they can make a mess. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, your other fishing reports, Dom. So you've got a couple of bags of whiting, which I'm sorry to hear about.
I don't actually enjoy it that much either. It's just like catching bait fish, but they taste good.
Exactly. Bait fish taste good too, So a couple of bags of whiting, some salmon, and you've been on the snapper?
Yeah, I've caught a few snapper. I'm just trying to think of if it was last week or like, what are we now, Wednesday? I lose track of the days this time of year, but yeah.
Doesn't matter, you can just lie.
No. No, the last snapper I got, I think, was around Rill area, and it was about 6 kilos. I think that was about a week ago. So, yeah, other than that, a few gummies. I've done 3 gummy shark guides, and they've all gone smoothly. Nothing huge, but solid keeper fish. So
yeah, nice. Adrian loves gummies.
Well, I was just going to come around to Dom about this. We all have our least favourite species in the port, I guess. What is yours? Because obviously Dave hates eagle rays. I hate any shark-dwelling pest ray thing that just steals bait. What do you hate?
Well, I don't like the gurnards because they're a pain in the ass. Because you got to, get the pliers out and make sure you don't mess up. And
they're a pain in the balls.
Yes, we've all heard that one.
Yeah, so they're probably the worst for me.
You know Brendan got stabbed in the balls, don't you?
Yeah.
Controversial. Doesn't believe his ball stabbing story.
Oh, Dom loves a bit of controversy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, we touched on that. I hope you guys don't mind, but I will touch on a lot of people want to hear how the whole salt guide scenario went down.
Oh, wow. Ooh. So you're going to bring this up?
So just, I won't go into too much detail.
No,
but
please tell, because we I guess, we don't really know what's going on in the background. We just see snippets and people go, oh, what's going on here? Have you heard this? I'm like, we know as much as you do. We're not in the lingo like Brendan is with you. Because obviously we do our own thing. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so if I touch on it, I'll say that I won't disclose exactly what marks were put on that page, Salt Guide, but my mate messaged me, I don't know how long after, it might have been 2 or 3 days after he put them up, and it was, we both fish the marks, we know where they are, and if, mulloway marks in particular, I won't say where, but
well, it's all over YouTube. Some of those
our
marks.
one's about 3.5 meters away from Brendan's, therefore it's a different mark.
Yeah.
That's normally how it goes, I guess.
So anyway, they got posted up by Salt Guide as a company, I guess, as a business, and I didn't agree with that because I got a lot of respect for these fish, and I know what it takes to catch them. They're not just like a snapper or a gummy shark or whiting where you can just go sit and enjoy your arvo and catch fish in a relative area. You got to really put in the time and the trips on a certain spot. So it takes a lot of dedication, and I didn't at the time, and to this day I don't believe that that's the right way to go, is selling a mark for monetary gain, for the world to see. You're not even teaching anyone anything. You're just giving away exact coordinates. And I didn't agree with that at all.
I think it's crap doing it on snapper as well, because a lot of people have their marks that they've worked, I guess, decades for in Western Port, because it's obviously a lot of structure, a lot of banks, and you learn to work out which areas produce in what months. And like we were discussing a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, there seems to be more and more boats on certain marks.
Absolutely.
We struggle to fish a lot of areas that we used
this
to.
season in particular has been crazy.
That's
so
exactly our thoughts. So.
So basically, for anyone who's not aware, there's a few of these websites out there that basically you sign up as a subscriber, and they virtually give you marks and tell you how to fish them, which I guess suits some people.
Yep.
But I guess ethically it doesn't really align with us.
Well, I think it shows a bit of humility, like to actually subscribe to something like that. Like it doesn't show any, I guess, adventure or hard work to actually catch your own fish.
Well, the way I put it was morally wrong from my standpoint, and it lacked a lot of integrity, I think, the way they went about it, because a lot of people come, and I get there's two sides to every story, and then, whatever the bullshit is, but the way it came from my seat was I posted it, and I understand I didn't disclose exactly why I was going at them, but you got to understand, in my seat, when I posted about it, it was so they'd take action. I could ring up, Salt Guide as a company and say, look, I don't agree with this, blah, blah. They're going to hang up on me. They're going to say, who's this kid? So I went about it in a way where they had to act. They had no choice. They had to act about it. And look what happened, they did. But I understand where the public come from when they got frustrated with the way I went about it. I didn't... To understand, so everyone out there understands. If I had gone and posted, they've put Mulloway marks up, this is wrong, blah, 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 everyone's going to go buy a $13 subscription. Boom. It's over, you know what I mean? So I couldn't say exactly what was happening until after it went down. And this is probably one of the first times a lot of people will get to understand that is what actually went down. It wasn't just a little bickering. It was a real situation. So that's why it blew up into such a big thing at the time. Yeah. And that's why,
So there was threats of suing and stuff like that, but you sort of stuck by your convictions, and eventually those marks did get pulled down off that page.
Oh, so it actually worked what you did. You posted something of theirs and they, I guess, succumbed to your request, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. They tried to come up with a huge front, and you'd expect that, they're going to try and, look at me this kid, whatever he's doing, we don't agree with that, we'll sue you. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. Do your best.
Yeah, because you often do hear, I guess, some of these companies, they do drive around and ping other marks. Was that happening to you as well, or?
Well, I found about a month ago, actually, someone, I'm not going to name names, but someone in particular in a black boat was around a mark I've fished for the last 3 years, and I've never seen him on the water around where I fish. So is that a coincidence? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that happening, and I think it might coincide with why the areas we fish have had a lot of boats on them recently, and it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. It's actually something we were going to bring up a little while ago, wasn't it, Adrian?
Well, it doesn't matter what company it is, whether it's Salt Guide or anything. But yeah, I just think it's wrong to share, I guess, people's hard-earned marks that they've worked their lifetime for.
Well, I come at it from, that's true, but also you're exploiting a fishery a little bit. Like part of what protects our stocks is the fact that not every man and his dog has spent the hours and hours and hours to work out tides, moon phases, barometers, whatever, when they need to be on a mark to catch fish. And what you're doing is giving everyone a massive shortcut to go out there and like more often than not, they're going to go sit on these marks they've been given and they're going to catch their bag limit of fish. And you get enough people doing that, and it's going to impact that. What's certainly going to lead to a little bit of localized depletion on certain areas, and it's going to probably impact the whole fishery as a whole if it takes off enough.
And just so everyone understands, like some people will probably look and say, "Oh, Dom, that's a bit hypocritical. You're a guide, blah blah blah." And I get that, right? And I want to show people techniques and how general areas. There's no exact mark, and this is the thing. Like no one owns the water. I understand that, but it's a difference between going and handing out exact GPS coordinates that some people have worked their ass off for, and going and saying, okay, this is the area, this is how we fish it, go from there. You know what I mean? Like you got to hunt it out yourself. And that's something that everyone enjoys about fishing. So it also takes the fun out of it. And at the end of the day, like, there's ways to go about things. And like, I don't think, a lot of people agree with the way some of these companies have gone about giving out a really, a lot of these dedicated fishermen our hard work.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, I actually saw a post from a charter operator, Chris Casser, the other day. And he's written about a couple of bad eggs on his boat where he's had to take him back to the ramp because they've been on Navionics in the phone and screenshotted where he's catching fish at the time.
Yeah, I've tried to do that to you a few times, but you won't let me take you in. Because I've noticed on your Navionics you got like Dave's Snapper Charter.
Brendan does it to me all the time.
Yeah, I know.
No, well, I have a thing whenever I catch a fish, whether I'm on my boat or Dave's boat or whatever, or on my phone, I mark where I've caught fish in what day, date or whatever, and I write the conditions sometimes on notes. And
yeah, as you would, yeah.
Because it just gives you a bit of knowledge, and it helps you work marks, I guess, that you work on over the years.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about things that grind our gears, Adrian, I want to introduce the new segment.
Oh, yeah.
To Peter Griffin for You Know What Really Grinds My Gears.
Thanks, Tom. You know what really grinds my gears?
So, Dave's made a new segment because it's summertime and something really grinds his gears. So,
Hey, look, Dom, I had salt guide.
Yeah, I thought it'd come up, but I just made sure to get it out of the way so people understand.
Well, what grinds my gears is this time of year we get all these cyclists of the sea out there on their freaking
cyclists
on their jet skis, Adrian. And we were drifting for squid on Sunday, and like literally there's 50 meters between us and the shore. So these guys are breaking the law anyway. And obviously an offshore wind, we're going in and repeating the drift from in to out. And these stupid mother flippers on their jet skis are going through there at like 100k an hour, right in our drift zone, and just they think that that's perfectly okay to do.
As a cocko,
Yeah.
what is the rules from how far from the shore? Because I'm sure there's a distance there.
Well, you got to be under 5 knots within, is it?
200 metres, is it, from the shore, unless it's signed with a yellow mark in the cross or whatever?
I've done my cockos for a few years, Adrian, but I think it's about that.
It just depends on the waterway too. So, the jet skis are psychos out there, especially around that schoolies time, and they're blowing past everyone where we're fishing, and it gets frustrating. Sure.
Well, yeah, like this is what annoys me, right? Jet skis are cool if you're using them in the right manner. Like, if you're going off into the surf and doing sweet jumps and whatnot, more power to you. If you're using them to go fishing or something like that, or you're towing someone, or you're actually doing something impressive, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're just like pulling up to the beach on a hot day, launching, and then you've got your family or your friends on the beach and you're spinning around in circles at high speeds repeatedly, non-stop, or buzzing around fishing boats because like you've run out of other people to impress and you think that they think it's cool, then that's what really annoys me. If you're going to ride a jet ski, go and do something cool with it. Don't bloody just spin around on the spot like a hero because you look like a wanker and nobody likes you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that totally. I guess that's why we fish the muddy, disgusting port of the Western Port because jet skis don't.
Yeah, but have you seen
really
Cowes Beach in summer?
I have seen it, but that's not where we are.
Have you seen the ferry when a ferry goes past there?
Yes.
Like it's like a swarm of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
All trying to race to jump over the wake of the ferry.
Well, they do that at Sorrento as well.
Yeah.
They go off the bloody ferry wakes and it actually looks insanely fun.
Oh, they're jumping waves,
Yeah.
They're probably all going to like hit into each other at midair though. But it's like, it reminds me I was at Eildon last year and there's no waves in Eildon. I'm just like, what are you people actually doing? Like they're all just like zooming around spinning in circles on perfectly flat water.
Well, that's why you have a wake boat because it creates its own wake.
Yeah, well, they didn't. It was just like swarms of them going from one end of the lake to the other. So, yeah, that's what grinds my gears.
Oh, good one, Dave. Good
all right.
segment.
Yeah, I thought it was all right, yeah. So, moving on. We go to our whip around. We've already covered what me and Dom have caught. But, so just...
Brendan was somewhere as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, so Brendan's just returned from Port Welshpool. Him, Andrew Pawsey and Joe fished last night for a 79 centimetre snapper, which Joe says was 6 kilo apparently because their heads are bigger at Port Welshpool.
So, Dom, a 79 centimetre snapper, what kind of weight would you give that?
I suppose it does depend on if it is male or female.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But does certain areas or districts have bigger heads which create more weight?
Well, he's putting the tough questions out there. I mean, it all depends on the fish. Every fish is different. Some are fatter than others. Like me and Reedy were talking about it the other day. He caught a 93 centimetre fish that he's got on scales on a video that was 20 pound. So
how big was it? 93?
Yeah, 93.
That's about right, though.
Yeah, 90. I suppose. But I got a 96 that was at Welshpool, that knobby, and it was just under 20 pound.
Yeah, but was it a male?
Yeah.
Yeah, males, that's annoying because males are so impressive. They fight harder, yet they weigh leaner. Whereas you can just get a giant, big, fat, pinky female ones and they'll be like 88 centimetres and go 20 pounds.
Well, they just have a pesky little sperm sac as the females. Full of eggs, like full on.
Well, that's the thing. That night, that 96 I got was just under 20 pound, but the 20 pounder, the 10 kilo fish, 9.89. That fish was actually 92 centimetres long. So,
wow.
Yeah, there you go. Go figure.
And female.
Female.
There you go. Yeah, so Brendan and that, they only got the one.
So there was a bit of funny story about that. So today, because Joe got his last night and Peter outfished them, I think he got 3 fish or something, was it?
Yeah,
today?
I think so, yeah.
So Joe was doing the matey thing where he sends text messages of other people's fish while you're on the water to you.
Oh, yeah.
So he was sending winger fish. So Joe's been stitched up here by Brendan. Mm-hmm. Brendan's gone, Joe, we got one. So have a look at this photo.
Oh, I haven't even seen all this.
So he sent this to Joe and he goes, oh, Joe, don't worry, old boy. We got one. 94 centimetres. So Brendan's...
that is the worst photo.
Yeah, Brendan's on the way back into the ramp. He's superimposed this photo of Pawsey from 2011 and he's gone to the exact spot in Singapore Deep to take the photo of the background so he could just cut Pawsey out perfectly. And I think Joe's taken it as they've done it.
Yeah, right.
And
Joe's a bit gullible though, isn't he?
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's sent that on to Peter. So Dave's just opened up Well,
I'll finish my whip around first.
Okay.
So yeah, Welshpool. So yeah, as I said, Western Port is really good at the moment. With that temperature finally spiking up. Actually, it's been good for a couple of weeks. The other thing that was pretty cool that we saw today was Salty Dog Charters had a big great white up around their boat.
They did. I'll see if I've got that on here.
If we can flick that up. But
sorry, guys.
That's all right. But
just bear with me.
Really cool, unless you're a diver down that way, in which case not really cool. But it did remind me.
So have a look at this. It's doing the whole Jaws 3 scene where he goes for a snip at someone's leg and he turns his head. Oh, look at this, Dom. Is that impressive?
Yeah, I reckon.
So that is the white shark of the ocean.
So that reminded me of a trip back in 2011.
Yeah.
Off Port Welshpool with Kev Bahaja, who I know listens to this show, so g'day Kev. And Regan Thompson, our dearly departed friend, and I think Dion was actually there.
Oh, and Dion's another cocko. So
yes,
he's
he
putting
actually
me
is.
to shame as well.
Yeah, we could have 3 cocks. So we're off Port Welshpool, and this, I reckon, bigger than Salty Dog's great white, so I've won. Came up around the boat and was hanging out with us. And now, watch this footage, but bear in mind it's from 2011, so I was probably filming it with like an actual potato.
So we do know that Dave started his own channel back then. It was called Ozfish, was it? Yeah. Ozfish. So we're going to go to his footage here. He filmed it with an actual potato. So here we go. So, yeah, there's no music on here because I've turned it right down.
No, because it was some crap music.
Hang on. There we go. We'll add the scene there. But yeah, it's actually pretty good footage if the cameras were good back then.
Look, that's in like 420p.
It's a pretty good sized pointer too.
That's a bloody big dog, I reckon, and she's a 3.5 metre at least. Then it comes up after this and it's chewing on the back of Kev's boat.
You zoomed right in too, so you can't actually see anything.
I've nailed the filming.
I saw a nose then.
Look at that. I'm just filming the motor.
So
we had a salmon head with a line tied through it to try and tease it up, but like a 1,000-pound shark doesn't seem to really care about a 200-gram.
You calling that
head.
1,000 pound?
Yeah, mate.
Okay, good call.
Have you seen? They're like 3 times the girth of a mako.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that's
massive.
an IGFA classification now.
Apparently they're 3 times the taste of makos too.
Absolutely delicious, let me tell you. As soon as that camera stopped rolling, I was out with the big gear. Is that
why there's a hook hanging out of its mouth?
Yeah. Didn't fight very hard, surprisingly, but very tasty. That's just a joke, everyone out there.
You seen one out there, Dom, before?
Sorry?
You seen white out there before?
No, I've never seen one other than I did hook one of Boy 8 about 4 years ago.
Boy 8 at Welshpool?
No, Boy 8 in Westernport.
Oh.
And it spooled me.
Oh, wow.
And I knew it was a white because it come right up to the surface about 30 metres behind the boat and you saw the big dorsal, like it wasn't a mako.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could tell.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it spooled me too. I locked up that tight on the Gosa with about 50 metres left and it just ripped it out and it was ripping it out at like astronomical speed. I couldn't stop it.
So did you have just nylon leader on or?
Yeah, I did, and I guess it just spooled me before it had the chance to bite me off.
Yeah, because they have razor sharp teeth. That's what they're renowned for, basically.
Yeah, might have even hooked him like
chewing off people's legs.
Might have hooked him in the nose or something. So.
Well, there was an attack like a few days ago. I don't even know.
I heard that. Was that at Torquay or something?
Yeah, I don't think they ever said the species, but
it's got to be white because that's the time of the year now.
Unless it was just a real pissed off bronze whaler, but that's probably your only options.
They need like something to provoke them, basically, these sharks.
But I'll tell you what's aggressive. 7 gills.
Yeah, oh, bloody oath they are. Bloody oath they are.
I've had them come up and eat gummies that I've got near the surface.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're I think they're reasonably closely related to the tiger shark.
Okay, but they've just got no dorsal fin, basically.
Uglier and more useless.
They do have that round nose-looking thing, don't they, like a tiger shark?
Their teeth are actually
the
quite
pointy whaler nose. Thing.
Yeah, well, they're called a broad-nosed 7-gill shark, Adrian.
Yeah.
So, their teeth are actually fairly similar to a tiger if you ever get close enough to have a look at them. But very common and very friggin' annoying.
They're one of Dave's favourite species to catch in Western Port. He calls them the 7 gorilla.
Yes.
Dom loves using the gorilla symbol on Instagram, I guess. Don't you, Dom?
He's talking about 7 gillers. So, continuing the whip around, our favourite tuna popping season is upon us, Adrian.
Oh, yes. So, I'm actually going to go out on Friday to have a look for them.
So, tuna being caught out of Port Phillip, which we...
Right in the heads as well.
We were told about that about a week or
2
2
weeks,
ago.
yeah. Lockie from Really Fishing. Is it Really Fishing?
Are you ousting him? He might not have been supposed to have told us
well,
that. Might have been secret.
Out of the bag now. So
Lockie's got his lines of communication. Some of them are top secret.
I think Phil from Team Borderfish told us too, didn't he?
Yeah, Phil was on it. Phil was bloody on it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He'll be out there soon. Ripping into him.
Dom, you going to hit the tunas?
Yeah, it's time. Yeah,
you're going to go out Friday as well?
I've actually got Guide Friday, but I will be out for them over the Christmas break for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, your number one lure is this one.
No.
So can I take that after today?
No, it doesn't matter. The colour. It's just the Halco laser.
Stuff that. You want your poppies.
Yeah. No, they are really good too, those ones. We've caught heaps on those, heaps on these. When they had a pink one of these were the best when they were pink. They don't make them anymore.
That size?
Don't they?
$190.
Just sucks when they start swimming on their back after a while.
Well, this is the new bills. We haven't used them before.
Yeah, the crazy deep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do the same thing.
Looking forward to trying this one out this season.
So, some small kings around as well. Portland, 10.5 kilo king has come in already. So
From the North Shore or?
Julia Reef. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
starting
That's
to fire.
good. Yep.
And down the 90-mile, bronze whalers and big hammerhead dogs galore.
I know you enjoyed that style of fishing last year. Was
Yeah.
it last year?
Yeah, so we it was the year before, I think, wasn't it? So yeah, we fished with Shannon Musgrove on the bronze whalers down there, and he's incredibly good at it. He's dedicated to that, like we are to big tuna and snapper and all that sort of stuff. So he's put in the time, worked it out, and I was there for a total of about 6 hours, and I reckon we caught 6 big bronze whalers.
Yeah, right. You did too, because even Finn ran one in.
Yeah, we had double hookups and sharks attacking sharks, sharks on sharks.
I heard everyone had caught one, and Brendan had like 4 attempts to actually land one. Is that true?
Yeah, sure.
Did he land one or?
Yeah, he landed one.
Oh yeah, but didn't he have a few attempts to actually get one?
Oh,
I heard
I
there was
can't
something
remember,
like that.
but it sounds about right. He usually does that. Even with the squid on the weekend, he was getting real angry because I caught my bag way before him. Yeah, so that completes my whip around, Adrian.
Oh, very
Now,
good.
I brought.
He's got
what
an
I've got
eating
here.
challenge here.
It's not really an eating challenge, though. I think it should be perfectly fine. This is barrel bluefin tuna caught off Flinders, Western Port, June.
2017,
July
18?
11th last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was only last year.
So have a look at that.
So you've just opened that, cracked it. Mine's still in my pantry.
What do you think about the smell? Well, don't spill it on our tech.
Oh, that actually smells good. It
Smells
kind of got
alright.
like a Serena, but I remember Brendan got mad at us because he said it's got a very floral taste to it. He goes, you got to eat it now, otherwise it's gonna.
Well, I've let
Go
it
for
age
it.
another 8 months, Brendan, so should be primo now.
So we're gonna let Dom try this.
Well, Dom, you look thrilled. I'm going to put a little bit on each
I'll have a
biscuit.
bit if you have a bit.
Yeah.
No, we're all gonna eat it.
Why
so,
are you afraid? It's actually delicious.
So your good mate Brendan caught this. Well, Dave did. No, Brendan did.
Anything's better than when he forced me to eat that cracker with like
Bon
heaps
appetit.
heaps of veggies and shit on it.
Yeah, Dom's going for it. Oh shit, that was a good crunch.
You can hear that crackle in the mic.
Okay, so what do you think of the recipe? Because Brendan's going to be listening to this. This is Dad's recipe.
Nasty's made this.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Oh!
he's
there you
calling
go.
it nice. So I've got
Beautifully
my
aged.
bit now. So it smelled kind of like the Italian style oil Serena tuna.
Yep.
I'm
It's
gonna
in
try
olive
it.
oil, which is controversial. Normally it's in veggie oil or something. Oop.
That's actually really good on those crackers.
I'm going to have like mega cracker.
I think that's really good, actually. It's actually aged nice. Well, hang on. Controversial here. Dom is sipping the water.
No, it was good. I like that.
Oh, good crunch. What do you think there, Dave? He's still chewing. What did you think of it, Dom?
Yeah, I liked it. I rate it.
So
It's actually
what
good.
kind of flavours, did it pop out to you? Or?
You know what it reminded me of? Like a tuna bake when you get those tuna mornais and you like put all the stuff in them and yeah.
No, it's
do
very
it up.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you taste the localness of it? It's a very local tuna
It
taste.
tasted like a bank.
Tasted
Maybe
like-
Linda's flank.
Tasted like Flinders seaweed. It's been rolling around in Flinders seaweed. So that was quite
Well,
enjoyable.
now that you've cracked the jar, you're going to eat the whole thing, I guess.
Maddie, I think my wife's over here, by the way. Tuna bake. Yeah,
It was actually really good, Maddie.
it was very good. All right. What we'll quickly do is run through our questions for this week and then decide who we're going to give some sweet merch to.
Yep. So Dom's going to answer them too. So
Yep. So first question we have is from our friend who actually recorded our intro and outro.
Simon McCluskey.
Actually, he'd already recorded the song.
Simon McCluskey.
So he allowed us to use yep.
So that is the song that he's let us use.
Subs work. So the question he's got here is, do you guys have any fishing superstitions? Me personally, I get my wife to pick up each rod and put it back down. Whenever she does this, I catch fish.
Is that real?
That's what he says.
Oh, that's what he said. I thought that's what you were saying.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, Maddie
Okay, so
barely
you get-
fishes.
So before he goes fishing, he gets his wife to stroke his rod, basically.
Female pheromones.
Actually,
That's a thing.
It is, isn't it?
Is that what he means? Like,
Strokes
as
his
a
rod.
metaphor?
He actually wrote in brackets, insert penis joke or
Oh,
something. like
okay.
that.
There we go.
So it's typical that you would have picked up on that one straight away, Adrian.
Apparently, it's a real thing with bait fish, the pheromones.
Yeah,
From,
right.
Female, yep.
I'd have to no, that's really sick.
So
Some
you
sort
got
of
any
harvest some pheromones from our partners.
So you got any superstitions there, Dom?
Something I've got a bit of a pet, like it's like a bit OCD with me. When I got my rods out and I got the wire rack holders, like the snapper racks.
Yeah.
I'd hate it when the butt of the rod is like a meter inside the boat. Like it has
Oh,
to
yeah.
be near the end.
I'm with you. It
where
looks
the
so
rod
dumb.
sits.
Okay.
Like it's
Dave has a lot of pet hates, and me and Winger deliberately push his buttons. It's so funny. Like,
I just like having the boat clean. But yeah, I suppose along the same lines of Dom there is I like to have the rods are evenly spaced in the rod holders, the snapper rack. So you got two right next to the motor and then a space and then another two.
he loves the butt hanging about an inch past.
I'm the exact same.
Yeah.
And like as you were saying about the evenly spaced, like me and Brennan will go out some nights and he'll put 3 rods on one side and they're like all bunched together and they're in various positions. I'm like, you got to change that. Like that doesn't work.
Yeah, I got kind of one of those pet things as well where you have to have, rod 1 is rod 1 for the night.
Yep.
So you've always got to cast rod 1 in rod 1 position.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
And
do that.
I know, but it just goes through my mind like that one was in there, that caught that fish, this caught that fish. And then when I'm fishing with Dave, it often rotates a lot on, and I'll get confused. I go, oh shit, which hook caught the fish?
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
know
no,
I
it
was
was
upsetting
blunt.
you so
Yeah.
much.
But I kept it quiet because
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Now I can
Yeah.
mess with you.
So
Yeah.
what kind of superstitions you got there, Dave?
Oh, well, I thought I just agreed with Dom.
Okay.
Superstitions.
You got to have something.
I don't know. I guess when I'm game fishing, I like to use the same set of lures. I don't know. So each lure has its own position, but I don't think that's really a superstition.
Well, you do have about 236 lures, and you only ever take about 10 on the boat, and
Yeah.
then you only run the 5 ever. So,
I guess you can call that a superstition.
yeah.
Oh, there's just heaps of stuff in fishing. I suppose it's either habit or you've had success like that before and you just keep repeating it.
Yep.
So,
I always love having a full fuel tank. Doesn't matter if you're only fishing 2Ks.
oh, yeah, you never know where you
Yeah.
can end up.
But, yeah, the last couple of days I've been on edge because I've just been quickly going for a quick squid fish and I haven't filled it up in ages. I'm like, this is totally against what I go with.
See, whereas Brendan, his gauge doesn't even work and he's got no idea how much fuel he's got left.
Yes.
And yet he somehow doesn't run out. It's quite remarkable. Yeah, so, all right. Well, yep, good question. Thanks, Sub. Really appreciate that one. Next one here is Evan Zissau. What's your favourite bait? This is really broad. For all the fish you boys catch.
Well,
So,
it's clearly calamari, southern calamari.
well, yeah, that's sort of the reason why I was happy to cover that one because it's quite funny that southern calamari covers such a broad spectrum from like whiting, snapper, all the way up to we use them to drop for broadbill swordfish,
Yeah.
which is
We basically catch everything on it. Kingfish.
kings. Yeah,
You
So-
can probably catch marlin on it if you towed a marlin on a skirt.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, would you agree with that one, Dom?
Yeah, I mean, different species, like, southern calamari is A1, but
Dom likes the one-arm bandits for his whiting fishing.
I mean, with gummies, I like blood baits, but it varies from time of year for what blood bait I use and that. So
Probably trevally, let's be honest.
Rassies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he likes
so-
the barber. Dave loves the barber perch.
they're good offshore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. Yep. So yeah, over a broad spectrum of things, calamari, Evan. So there you go. Jonah.
Oh, is
He's
this
back.
serial question, Jonah?
Yeah, I actually messaged him just before the show. I said, "What do you got for us?" And he fired out 3 in succession.
Oh, really?
I wrote
There you
down
go.
2 of them.
Yeah.
What is the most impressive big fish small boat capture you've heard of in Australia? I'm going to go first on that one.
Okay.
So I think the most impressive I heard of is actually Gina Cleaver.
Oh, yes.
Female fisherwoman up in...
Is her name still Gina Cleaver or is it something else now?
No, that's still it.
Still Cleaver.
So up in Queensland, her and her partner went out in a small trailer boat at Tunas, trying to make a comeback, in a small trailer boat, and they caught a 1,000-pound black marlin. As something normally reserved for the 50-foot game fishing beasts, and they've gone out in a single-engine sports fishing boat and achieved that on stand-up tackle.
So there she is there, Gina Cleaver there on the right.
Yep. I don't know if you can find a photo of the...
Oh, I'll have to go.
It'll be
through
miles
thing.
back.
That
Don't
was
worry
like-
about it. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, for me, that's the most impressive big fish small boat capture that I've heard of in Australia. What about you, Adrian? Anything off the top of your head?
Not really. Like, there's a lot of tinnies that catch marlin and all that stuff. And
What about old flying Dutchie?
yeah,
Megasword?
Dutchie's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
His
Yeah.
big sword that he couldn't even
Was
get his
that
boat up on
Yeah, he
plane.
had to get Richie to actually put it in his boat.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of guys who do the marlin fishing in their tinnies and get them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do that this summer.
What about you, Dom? You got any on?
Yeah,
Okay.
off the top of my head, not quite like the big game stuff, but I know maybe we watching Nev. He got a big bronzy up in his kayak and like got it right beside the kayak for a good minute. So pretty big credit there, because I tell you what, in a boat I've had some frustrating bite offs right beside the boat myself, where she'd be coming home to the gantry and last second bite off. So he did well to get that right up. He could have taken that in for sure. It was hooked perfectly. So credits him for that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
is
cool.
the smallest of boats.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty daunting on a kayak too. I mean, those things flip for nothing. So
Yeah.
if
How many
he's got-
outriggers do you have out? Just one or both of them?
He didn't have our... Does he have the floaty things off the side of his?
Yeah, he does now, but I don't think he had it
He
there.
does.
Oh, okay.
Now
Well-
he's got them, yeah.
Well done, Nev. All right. Last question from Jonah again. What is the worst tasting fish you've eaten? Not the tuna. That was good. Adrian?
Probably those bastard codlings.
Oh, you've actually eaten one.
Yeah, years ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, as you know, it was a kind of got to take something home kind of moment, and they basically taste like mush.
There you go.
What about you, Dave?
The worst fish I ever ate was my grandpa.
Oh no, you cooked
Thought
your
he was
grandpa.
quite a... Yep. No, he thought he was a bit of a fish cooking connoisseur, and he'd been watching the Chinese shark finning market with interest, I believe.
Yeah.
So I caught a big gummy when I
Oh,
was a kid, and
no.
he's whipped off the fins.
Tom.
He had no knowledge of how to do it, right? Because they dry the shark fins out and make
Yeah.
like these delicate broths, and it's like a delicacy over there. But he's just basically put a fresh gummy shark.
He's just cut
Dorsal.
it. So let me guess, he's just cut it straight off and put it in the pot.
Fresh gummy shark dorsal straight into a veggie soup, which is just boiled down into gelatinous muck, and then proceeded to feed that to everyone. Apparently, he thought it was really good, but I tell you what, it was the grossest thing I've ever eaten.
Too much muck.
He was mucking.
Yeah. What about you, Dom? What's your
It
most
would have been
disgusting-
something from a fish and chip
snapper,
shop.
whiting, or
Something from a fish and chip
Gillot
shop
fish?
at a Narry Warren, for sure.
fugo?
Yes, you don't know what you're getting from a fish and chip shop.
Nah, and
Yeah.
sometimes you look at it and go, yeah, one bite was enough.
It's funny you say that because one day Dave ordered fish and chips from a pub and he goes, "It's really good." I go, "I can guarantee you that's like bass fillet."
And I was like, it was
He
really
goes,
good.
No, it's got to be like flake or Australian something. And I had to pull the waitress over. I go, "Oh, can you ask what fish this is? Is it bassa?" And she comes back 2 minutes later and she goes, "Oh, yeah, it's bassa fillet."
And it was at Wye River, right next to the bloody ocean. So you'd think they would have got some nice fresh produce.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, bass is pretty good as it turns out.
Well, it is a white, flavourless fish where you can add your own flavours, basically. So, yeah, can imagine it was good being in the freezer for about 13 months and
Yeah,
added some salt and pepper to it and
not bad.
fried it up. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all the questions we've got there. Quick vote on the best one. I'm going to go with sub. Not rigged at all, but I thought that was a pretty interesting question and provided some interesting answers.
yeah, no, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Sub?
I'll go sub. Yep.
Dom? Sub?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep, sub. You won yourself a hat, basically. So,
All right, sub. Yeah, we'll shoot you a message and get your size, and then we'll work out what we've got here for you and send it on through. Probably the least we can do since you provided us with the music and the question. So thanks, buddy.
There you go.
All right, Adrian and Dom. I think. This is now you're going to be able to use our cool pre-recorded message, Adrian, as we sail off into the sunset. What's up, you bloody legends? Thanks for listening to Wind Against Tide again. That's it for another episode. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'd be doing us a massive favour. Thanks, guys.